All right, guys, so today is the 17th. We're talking real life systems of equations. All right, so real life, we're going to deal with word problems. Some of these we're going to be solving. Some of them we're just going to be writing the equations. So first thing I need to do is read the word problem to see what information I know. So Jasmine has both dimes and quarters in her purse. She realized she has 5 more dimes than quarters. She has a total of $2.60. What is the system of equations? All right, so let's start with that 5 more dimes than quarters. I know that can be kind of confusing when we're trying to write an equation. First thing that I need to make sure I know is what I'm going to identify as my variables. Well, I don't know how many dimes I have. I don't know how many quarters I have. So I'm going to make dimes D and quarters Q. Those are going to be my 2 variables. So they told us we have 5 more dimes than we have quarters. So for instance, if I had, let's say, 20 quarters, then I would have to have 25 dimes. Again, this is just for instance. I'm not saying that's the correct numbers. That's just an example. So how would I write this as an equation? Well, my equation would be my number of dimes is going to equal however many quarters I have plus 5. So that's my first equation. My second equation is then going to deal with the total amount of money I have. Well, I know it's going to equal $2.60. But how many quarters and dimes do I have? Well, I don't know that answer, so I can go ahead and put my D plus Q, because I know I'm going to be adding those up. But we're dealing with the amount of money, so that means I also need to know how much a dime is and how much a quarter is. So a quarter is going to be 25 cents. A dime is going to be 10 cents. And that right there would be my system of equations. If I wanted to actually go ahead and find how many dimes and quarters I've had, I would say I probably would want to use substitution or elimination. Substitution is probably your best bet because you already have a D equals, by the way. All right, let's try another problem. All right, so you ready? It's $56 for the swim team. Selling calendars and desk planners. You know you sold 16 total items. The calendars are $3 each. The planners are $4 each. How many planners and calendars did you sell? So they're wanting to know how many of each I sold, so that I'm going to need some equations in order to figure that out. Well, the first total that they gave me was $56. So that's dealing with the amount of money. Well, the 2 things I know is that the calendars were $3. So every calendar I sold is $3, and every planner I sold is going to be $4. So 3C plus 4P equals 56. All right, now my other total that they gave me was the number of total items that I sold. That's 16. So that's going to be my second equation is equal to 16. So however many planners and however many calendars I sold is going to equal 16. Now, they do want us to go ahead and solve both of these for the number of planners and calendars. So, which method would I choose? I would choose elimination. I already have everything lined up to where all I need to do is multiply my 2 equations. I'm going to start out with trying to figure out how many planners I have. So I want to get rid of C then. So I'm going to multiply the top equation by 1, the bottom equation by -3. So I'm still going to have the top equation exactly the same. 3C plus 4P equals 56. But the bottom equation, I'm going to end up multiplying and get negative 3c minus 4p equals, or wait, no, sorry. That should be minus 3p equals negative 3 times 16. So negative 48. All right, we'll cancel out that first equation and we'll get P equals 56 minus 48, which is 8. So I know my number of planners. I still need to go get how many calendars I have. So that would be C plus 8 equals 16. If I subtract 8, I'm going to see the number of calendars ends up being 8 as well. So that's my number of planners. That's my number of calendars. All right, let's try another one. A business rents inline skates and bicycles. During one day, the business has a total of 25 rentals and collects $45 for the rentals. There's my two totals right there. The business rents bikes for $3 a day and inline skates for $1.50 a day. How many bikes and skates did they rent? So the total number of rentals was 25. So the number of bikes, which I'm going to make my B, plus the number of inline skates, I'm going to make this L, equals 25. On the other hand, the amount of money made was $45. The inline skates were $1.50. The bikes were $3. Again, add those up and that's going to give me 45. So again, all I'm going to do is now figure out how many bikes and skates they rented out. Pause the video and see if you can do this. All right, guys, so I went ahead and I worked this out and I got for my inline skates that I got 20. So if my inline skates were 20, then B plus 20 equals 25. If I subtract 20 from 25, I'm going to get the number of bikes is 5. And that would be my final answer, is the skates were 20, the bikes were 5. That was the number sold. All right, guys, that is it for today. Go ahead and get started on your test review. Tomorrow in class, I will be taking questions on any questions that you have on that test review. So make sure you come to class with specific questions that you need help on. Have a great rest of your day. See you guys tomorrow.